We are live today on Main Street in Henrietta, Oklahoma, and we're here to watch the Jesus Walk. And they're coming this way, so we started a little early. And I'm just going to share from the scriptures today. At daybreak, the council of the elders of the people, both the chief priests and the teachers of the law, met together, and Jesus was led before them. "If you are the Messiah," they said, "tell us." Jesus answered, "If I tell you, you will not believe me. And if I ask you, you would not answer. But from now on, the Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the mighty God." They all asked, "Are you the Son of God?" He replied, "You say that I am." Then they said, "Why do we need any more testimony? We have heard it from his own lips." Then the whole assembly rose and led him off to Pilate, and they began to accuse him, saying, "We have found this man to be subverting our nation. He opposes payment of taxes to Caesar and claims to be the Messiah, a king." So Pilate asked Jesus, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "You have said so," Jesus replied. Then Pilate announced to the chief priests and the crowds, "I find no basis to charge against this man." But they insisted. "He stirs the people all over Judea by his teaching. He started in Galilee and has come all the way here." On hearing this, Pilate asked if the man was a Galilean. When they heard that Jesus was under Herod's jurisdiction, he sent him to Herod, who was also in Jerusalem at that time. When Herod saw Jesus, he was greatly pleased, because for a long time he'd been wanting to see him. From what he had heard about him, he hoped to see him perform a sign of some sort. He plied him with questions, but Jesus gave him no answer. The chief priests and the teachers of the law were standing there, vehemently accusing him. Then Herod and his soldiers ridiculed and mocked him. Dressing him in an elegant robe, they sent him back to Pilate. That day, Herod and Pilate became friends. Before this, they had been enemies. Pilate called together the chief priests and the rulers and the people and said to them, "You brought me this man as one who was inciting the people to rebellion. I have examined him and in your presence and have found no basis for the charges against him. Neither has Herod, for he has sent him back to us. As you can see, he has done nothing to deserve death. Therefore, I will punish him and then release him." But the whole crowd shouted, "Away with this man! Release Barabbas to us." Barabbas had been thrown into prison for the insurrection in the city for murder. Wanting to release Jesus, Pilate appealed to them again, but they kept shouting, "Crucify him! Crucify him!" For the third time. "Why? What crime has this man committed? I have found him no grounds for death penalty. Therefore, I have punished him and then released him." But with loud shouts, they insistently demanded that he be crucified, and their shouts be prevailed. So Pilate decided to grant their demand. He released the man who had been thrown into prison for their insurrection and murder. The one they asked for surrendered to Jesus to their will. As the soldiers led him away, they seized Simon of Cyrene, who was on his way in the country, and put him on the cross and made him carry it behind Jesus. A large number of people followed him, including women who mourned and wailed for him. Jesus said to them, "Daughters of Jerusalem, do not weep for me. Weep for yourselves and for your children. For a time will come when you will say, 'Blessed are the childless women, the wombs of whom never bore the breast that never nursed.' Then they will say to the mountains, 'Fall on us,' and the hills, 'Cover us.' For if people do these things when the tree is green, what will happen when it is dry?" The two other men, both criminals, were also led out to be executed. When they came to the place of the skull, they crucified him there along with criminals, one on his right, the other on his left. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And they divided up his clothes by casting lots. The people stood there watching. The rulers even sneered at him. They said, "Save others. Let him save himself if he's God's Messiah, the chosen one." The soldiers came up and mocked him. They offered him wine vinegar and said, "If you're the king of the Jews, save yourself." There was a written notice above him which read, "This is the King of the Jews." One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself. Save us." But the criminal rebuked him. "Do you fear God?" he said. since you are under the same sentence, we are punished justly, for we're getting our deeds, what our deeds deserve, but this man has done nothing wrong. It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 in the afternoon. The sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out in a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." And when he said this, he breathed his last. Tonight we're going to be having a service at the Henrietta Church of the Nazarene at 7 o'clock to commemorate Good Friday. It's a celebration day for us. It was a great loss over 2,000 years ago, but we know what's coming because we know the end of the story. So join us tonight as we partake in communion, as we remember what Christ did for us so long ago. We hope you'll join us at 7 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, you'll need to be there by 12:45. Miss Cindy will be doing a flannel graph with the kids. Bring your kids out and learn more about Jesus. And then Sunday morning, 9:45, we have our Easter egg hunt and donuts in the gym. Everybody's welcome to that. And then finally, on Sunday at 10:30 a.m., we celebrate a risen Savior, a Savior that came to die for each of us. We hope you join us.